Hello dear ones, it's Alice. I am of the stars. I'm in the midst of the ant wars today here in Southern California, and things have taken a turn for the worse. I have some tips for you about what I found out about the Argentine ants in the San Fernando Valley in my area near Canoga Park. Things that have changed. They've evolved. And this has to do with the ascension process. So we know there's a lot of turmoil that's going to take place during the ascension process. And one of the things is the ants and the humans are both becoming far more telepathic and far more capable of flexible maneuvering for control of Earth. Things have gotten worse with regard to the Argentine ants that inhabit our homes here because they've decided that they do not mind eating us. And they've also, I've heard, eaten the baby birds outside. So we need to take care that our children and our pets and that we ourselves not be eaten this year during the Argentine ant season. And in the future, things are most likely to heat up in regard to this war for space on Earth. I know there's a strong opinion amongst professional people that using a sweetener such as honey along with borax, either 1% or 5%, is the answer to eliminating Argentine ants from the home. The rationale is that the worker ants will carry the poisoned solution back to the baby ants and to the queen, and they will consume it and everybody will die. And that you only have to wait a couple of days after placing the ant bait with the borax in it, sweet ant bait with borax in it, and then the entire colony will be wiped out, okay? Last year and this year I tried it here in the San Fernando Valley, and I have to say I had no success whatsoever with it. I think that has to do with the existence of the super colonies that extend for many hundreds of miles, and our yards are packed full of surplus ants waiting to move in where the other ones pass on. That's what I think. And the only success that I've had is in caulking areas of the house where they enter my house, or caulking up areas where they're holed up behind the woodwork, behind the cabinets, caulking all of that, and preventing them from getting out into the house. And also, I keep no food in my cabinets anymore, and I keep my cat food in the refrigerator and only let the cat eat a couple times a day. Because whenever food gets out on the counter, they're there at this time of year. So my efforts have to do with caulking rather than poisoning. I've tried every poison, and none of them works. Their numbers are too great now, I feel, for that to work out. If they weren't so cooperative, each with the other community, then you could kill one colony and that would be that. But this is not the case. There's tons of colonies out there and they're all cooperating with each other like a giant star system invasion of Earth, right? And so I placed the borax, 1%, I heard this better. I placed the borax solution outside the house so that it could kill the ants that are out there. And inside the house, I caulk off every possible corner and angle with the strongest necessary caulk. Or you'll find out the secret ingredient for the sacred geometry points that I've discovered inside the house. That's coming up next. You will find online tremendous opposition to my point of view, okay? But if you're one of the people for which the conventional point of view regarding Argentine ants control does not work, as am I, then you may find this video of interest. I read priorly, and you would have seen on my website, Awakening with Planet Earth, you would have seen that I thought that ants came from Alpha Centauri or Mintaka Orion. And but there are many other theories out there, and we really don't know for sure, at least I don't, exactly where they came from. I do know they're not much like mammals, and that they are warring as we are warring for space and a place to live here on Earth. One of the things that I found out yesterday is they have a sense of sacred geometry, and this sense of sacred geometry apparently determines where they are likely to concentrate their inroads into the home over and over again, like nodes of activity. And I'll be talking about that and about how they've evolved past the things that I used last year to seal them off from the house, and the things that I found this year that work. First, with regard to sacred geometry. Okay, you see this box, all right? See this corner here. This corner represents sacred geometry for the ants. So you might find it like this, for instance, where these two sides, the vertical sides are two walls, and underneath would be the floor. Or you might find sacred geometry in a corner that's inverted like this, you see. Like the inside of a box right here in the edge here is a node of incoming activity, invasive activity. So I'll show you what that looks like in real life. Okay, so here we have a corner like the outside of a box with the floor and the edges right here. This is a node of invasive activity right here. And over here, on the far side here, this is like the inside of the box that I just showed you. And up this wall right here along the baseboard and to the bottom there, that's a sacred geometry point for the ants. Okay, this right here, the edge of a sill, you see, here's a point right here. And all along here, for reasons that I don't know, this curving structure here is a place of sacred geometry where an invasion is likely to happen. So you got it, right? There's this curved inside of the box corner structure. See that? And another one over here. Here's a simple inside of the box structure, sacred geometry. And here's a simple outside of the box structure, sacred geometry. Okay, so what has been happening is that these points, these sacred geometry points, I cover them up with some kind of caulking, right? And the very next day they've been pierced through by the ants. This happens over and over again. And I suspect it may have to do with stress points in the house itself, and that these joints move more than we know as the earth settles at night and becomes cooler and then warms up during the day, or in places where there's larger earth movements such as earthquakes. I think those might be the first to develop cracks in caulking or like that, okay? So there may be a physical reason behind the thought that the ants consider them to be sacred entry points into our homes. Now, I'm going to explain a little about things that have changed this year in the last week or two with regard to these ants that I assume are brown, small Argentine ants that march into the homes and form super colonies just within our homes and all around the surrounding areas, and communicate with each other and have a strong sense of community over hundreds of miles here in Southern California. So they're expanding their colony and they're learning things at a super fast rate. We as humans, we have to keep up, and we have to be ahead of it, and we have to get away from them if they turn vicious. Their mandibles are not that vicious, but they have been biting me this year, and they never used to do that. They do that now when they get angry. They decide they're all going to march in and get me when I fall asleep, right? And they may do it to you too. And for very small children, it might be a catastrophic mistake unless we take action right away. So this year I thought I would try the strongest version of the caulking that I could find at like the Home Depot and Lowe's and those places. So first thing I tried DAP, because I was working in the kitchen. They went for the food first and the cat food and so forth. I tried DAP Premium Kitchen and Bath Adhesive Sealant. DAP Premium Kitchen and Bath Adhesive Sealant called Quick Seal Plus. I tried, they have it in clear and white, maybe other colors. The very next day, they had busted through wherever I caulked in the sacred geometry areas and were foraging about in the kitchen again. So I'm saying that this might work on the straightaway between the wall or the baseboard and the floor, but it doesn't work in the sacred geometry areas anymore. Okay, so here we have DAP Premium Kitchen and Bath Adhesive Sealant, Quick Seal Plus. Then I thought maybe I should try something other than DAP. So yesterday I went to the home improvement store and I tried GE Pro Seal Max for windows and doors. GE Pro Seal Max for windows and doors. It also comes in white and clear. As I tried that last night and this morning, the ants had also broken through in 3 places in the areas that I've termed for you sacred geometry areas. So this might work. It's easy to work with, and it might work quite well on the straightaway, say between a cabinet and the wall, in case they've gotten behind the cabinet, or between the wall and the floor, but not on the sacred geometry areas. Yesterday, I also bought, in case I had to move on with my defenses, I bought Loctite PL Premium Max. Loctite PL Premium Max. It's not the same as caulking, right? But I found out that it works quite well on the sacred geometry points, and there are no breakthroughs after I use this. Also, it's gray, but it's paintable. And this other item, Pro Seal, GE Pro Seal Max, is also paintable. So, you know, it looks like a war zone when you put it on that area, but it stops the ants as of this year. Loctite PL Premium Max. I'm advising this if you're desperate. Use this year. Okay, so let's say you've stopped the gap where the ants are coming into your home. Then I'm suggesting that you have a lot of ants running around everywhere. And I had several different options in my home. I tried stem. It says it kills ants, roaches, and flies. This did not work. This did not stop these particular ants that are in my home this year. Then I had this left over. I tried Zevo Insect Killer, Ant, Roach, and Fly. It smells like peppermint, and this worked. It stopped them in their tracks right away, and it also works for silverfish. Okay, so I'm suggesting if you have stem and stem doesn't work, try Zevo for ant, roach, and fly, the peppermint kind. Okay, so there are those possibilities. Then you also have, under the sink, you have pipes that come into the house, and around the pipe there, in my case, there were holes. Okay, and these holes were jolly places for all kinds of pests to come in, and nothing worked on that for me except for plumber's putty. Plumber's putty takes a while to dry, but after it dries, it's impervious to all kinds of insects, especially ants in my case. And so if you put it around the base of your toilet, which has a lot of movement around it, still after a few days, plumber's putty can't be broached by the ants. Regardless of that movement, it can't be broached. It's very strong. And so you may have to find some backing if you have large holes, but you have to close up those holes around the pipe and also the base of your toilet. Then around the faucets in your bathtub, you can use plain caulking, waterproof caulking. These Argentine ants, they're quite bright. And the drones are always talking as if they were authoritative male figures. They talk to us and try to trick us about stuff. For instance, they said I shouldn't make this video, I know, they're just the drones. So don't listen to strange voices, especially if they're in the midst of an invasion. It sounds like bedlam at night. So you have to get out there and take care of the situation. Either that or go away for a while and work on it in the daytime, because it's really very overwhelming for people who are telepathically sensitive. These very socially closely knit beings who are very intelligent and who are willing to sacrifice themselves just like that for the sake of the hive mind. It's quite an interesting situation. Here we are. We think we're the kings of the earth. And here are these ants plotting to overthrow us in the next couple of years. This is the pragmatic prophet here telling you not to take things as if they were the same as they always used to be, okay? Take things as they come. Go with the flow and figure out what's really going on, okay? If the ants start to bite you, you're going to have to fight back real hard, If they hurt your pets or your children, you're going to have to move very fast, okay? I know you guys always think, you take me with a grain of salt, but the people who pay attention, they're the very first off the bat. That's the truth. I think I'll end by showing you a few pictures of how the sacred geometry points look after I put Loctite PL Premium Max on them, so that you'll see, the war zone and what has happened. And I'll put those after the credits, those pictures. Meantime, God bless you all, keep you safe, and be with you through all your days. In love, light, and joy, this is Alice B. Clagett. I am of the stars, and so are you. Come and visit me at Awakening with Planet Earth. That's my website. https://awakeningwithplanetearth.com. You can find out more about ant social life there, and also many other kinds of beings. Good luck, you guys. Good luck.